Welcome everyone. Those stories shortly, but first making headlines this Wednesday afternoon. A breaking story coming in. An Indian Air Force fighter jet has now crashed in Rajasthan. You're taking a look at some of the visuals there, some of the aftermath of that crash. It crashed just a short while back. The Sukhoi-30MKI crashed into a village in the Barmer district. Again, this happening in the state of Rajasthan in northwestern India. Both pilots were ejected safely. Quite a dramatic and scary situation for there. No word on what exactly caused that crash for that fighter jet. It crashed a short while ago in Barmer, Rajasthan. All right, a quick recap of this story coming in. An Indian Air Force fighter jet crashing in the Barmer district in Rajasthan. You're taking a look at some of the visuals there as search and rescue operations trying to get to that doomed flight there. You're taking a look at one of the possible engines. You see some of the rescue crews and workers there. The Indian Air Force fighter jet crashed not too long ago. The Sukhoi-30MKI crashed into a village there. No word on what exactly caused that crash, but we do know the pilots were ejected safely. All right, now to get more on this story, let's go to our senior journalist joined via the phone line, Sudhir Ranjan Sen. Thank you so much for joining us this hour. Quite a scary situation there with that fighter jet crashing. What's the latest that we know? Do we have any idea what may have caused the accident?
Well, what we've been able to find out so far is that it was on a routine training mission, and this is taken off from Barmer. It's a forward air base, which houses fighters. The Su-30MKI is India's mainline fighter. But of late, there has been issues of safety that have been raised once in a while, specifically about the Sukhoi-30. The issue had been taken up with the Russians. Mind you, it's a Russian-made fighter jet. And there were some improvements carried out. Why, wherefore, this jet would have crashed will only be known after the court of inquiry is completed.
With regards to this, how likely is it good? There's certainly good news that both of the pilots were able to eject from the cockpit and evacuate to safety. But is that standard procedure? Is that normal to expect in a situation like this, perhaps indicating that the pilots maybe knew that something was going down wrong on that fighter jet?
Yes, obviously. I mean, it is not only the standard procedure is first when you need to bail out of an aircraft, fighter aircraft. The first thing that is of the standard procedure is that you ensure that it doesn't go down in a populated area, whereby it could create more casualties. And once you've ensured that it is out of a populated area and there is no likely damage to the civilian population down below, the pilots are supposed to bail out, because mind you, training pilots, bringing them up to the level of a fighter, to fly a fighter is quite costly. Lives are costly, and this is a very standard thing that you do bail out once you've ensured that there is no likely casualties on the ground, civilian casualties on the ground.
Which is certainly a very good point. I mean, luckily, from at least what we know, the reports so far, it doesn't look like there are any ground casualties, at least not yet. But what we can see from some of the images, it looks like a part of that, the engine, it looks like a very remote part of the state, Rajasthan. What I also wanted to ask you, perhaps, is can we identify, some of the reasons possibly for the crash, even though it is a little bit earlier? There's certain things that we could rule out, things possibly like a fire on board. Was weather perhaps a factor? Was it pilot error? What are some of the causes that typically jets like these fighter jets typically end up crashing? I mean, good news is the pilots were able to evacuate, but could you maybe shed us some light with regards to the probable cause?
From what the only indicator that we can use out here is previous crashes and the inquiries that have happened coming out, thereby identifying the reasons. The reasons for crashes in India or the Indian Air Force that we have seen is largely because of malfunction of aircraft or parts of an aircraft. I mean, very rarely, if at all, we've seen pilot errors being put as the cause of a crash. But it's a very in a fighter plane, lots of things have to go right. Lots of things, or a minor thing going wrong can also pull you down. So it's too premature to even speculate about the reason. As I said earlier, it will be a court of inquiry that will immediately be ordered. And it's only after the court of inquiry is, through will one know the cause.
And what is the standard protocol with regards to the pilots? We do know that they were ejected safely. What happens while the investigation continues to find out what went wrong to bring this jet down?
The standard procedure, of course, the standard procedure is that the pilots first go through a medical examination and they join the inquiry. And until the inquiry is over or till the inquiry needs them, they are not put back on active operational duty till then. And mind you, ejecting out of a fighter jet is a very serious business. It can leave you with several, it can cause damage to the pilots. And so therefore, the first thing is, of course, a medical checkup, ensuring that the pilot is safe, and also, ensuring that they can fly once again.
Well, what about the safety record of the fighter jet of the Sukhoi? Let's go back to sort of maybe some of the previous incidences where things like this have happened. How reliable, how safe is this if it is India's military, fighter jet?
Well, fighter jets across the world do crash. By its very nature, fighter jets or fighter aircrafts are unstable platforms in a way, and it's nothing new that they come down for various reasons. If you were to particularly talk about the Sukhoi-30MKI, it's a robust, sturdy aircraft, the mainline fighter for India. It has had some issues in the past, as I said, but those have been rectified with the help of the original equipment manufacturers, and it has more or less a good record of flight safety as well.